Hello, my name is Jon Tait and I'm here to share with you my top 5 tips on managing your marking workload this term. Number 1, a timetable. We always talk to students about having a revision timetable in the lead up to their exams to make their revision manageable and so everything doesn't creep up on them at the last minute. But why don't we do this for our marking? If you're a teacher and you want to make sure you are marking your Year 7 books on a Monday night and then you're going to mark Year 9 on a Wednesday night, have a timetable, have it stuck up in your office or at home in your house so you know what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and that little and often approach will make it far more manageable rather than everything creeping up on you at the same time and having to stay up for 3, 4, 5 hours on an evening marking all of your books on the same evening. Number 2, don't mark everything. We've been in a culture for far too long as teachers thinking that we have to mark work just because it's been written down in books, and we have that red tick and flick approach which actually does nothing and students don't benefit from it whatsoever. So be selective in what you mark, but make sure that it's quality. So that idea of quality, not quantity, and making sure that students are going to act on that feedback. That's the real key now. Marking so that students can actually improve on their work and act on your feedback. So make sure your feedback is direct. And you may ask some questions of some students rather than just a tick and flick approach that says good, well done, good work, great effort. It doesn't mean anything. Number 3, refuse substandard work. Yes, that's right. Refuse it, do not accept it. Far too often we spend far too long as a teacher writing more on the work than the student has done anyway, and that's a ridiculous situation to be in. So if you feel that the student has just handed it in just to not be told off, so they say, well, I've handed it in, you can't tell me off, refuse it, hand it back, put a late mark on it that says refuse due to substandard work, and only mark it when you feel it's up to the right standard that you're going to then spend your time in it. You don't want to be spending half an hour marking one piece of work, telling them everything they should have done when they clearly just haven't even bothered. Number 4, marking tokens. This is a fantastic way to really reduce the time that you spend marking. So what you need to do is you set up a token for that piece of work, and on that marking token it should have the success criteria that the student should have followed that you gave them prior to the task starting. Then what you do is you then fill out the section that's got the what went well, or however you want to say what they've done well. Then their EBIs, they're even better if, so again you might have something slightly different to that. And you then type it in there, do it on the computer. It makes it far easier to do it, and also what it means is that you're following the criteria that you set out and what you gave to the students at the start, meaning that that the marking of your work is far more consistent rather than how you feel on any given day. And lastly, number 5, feedback in lessons. Plan in time in your lessons for you to wander around the class and take a pen with you. Alright? We tend to wander around, but actually what do? We look at kids' work, we have a bit of chat. You could be actually doing some marking when you're going around. You can take a highlighter around, you can take a pen around with you, and while you're going around you can be doing a lot of your marking as you're wandering around. And not only that, while you're speaking to students you can actually give feedback to more than one person at a period of time. So if you've got 3 or 4 people sat at a table, as you're talking to someone about what they should do better or what they've done really well, if you can project your voice across the table, that's then going to hit more than one student, meaning your kind of dynamic marking and your wandering around and your feedback is going to be far more effective rather than just for one person in one book. So there you go, 5 top tips for you to manage your marking this term, and I hope you can follow those and it makes a difference to your work-life balance and your teacher well-being. Good luck.